nobody like this. You ain't seen nobody like this. You hear my sound all over town singing. Whoa. You ain't seen nobody like this. You ain't seen nobody like this. You hear my sound all over town singing. Whoa. I think there's something in the water. If you wanna take a sip, but be careful what you wish for. The faint of heart can't handle it. Everybody wants a piece of someone else's prize, but it ain't free, it don't come cheap. Only the strongest will survive. You ain't seen nobody like this.
Good evening and welcome to Athenians Roundtable. My name is Harry. Joining me tonight is Royce and Rafa. How are you doing today? We'll start out with you, Rafa, since you're not muted, and we got to check your mics to see if they're working this week.
I didn't.
I'm good. I'm good. Just came back from Del Rio. I was there for a few days over the weekend.
Nice and cool.
Nice and hot.
Nice and cool.
Nice, cool 105-degree weather that I'm used to.
Why would you subject yourself to that? That is just.
That's a warm day for me.
It hasn't even been triple digits in San Antonio.
Royce, why you
then
gotta
you're
ruin
gonna
it,
go
man?
somewhere. Do what?
Why you got to ruin it? Now it's going to be 100 and some degrees for the next month.
It's inevitable. It's like
true.
Thanos. It's
This
inevitable.
is South
Come on.
Texas.
That's why you jump into there in San Felipe Creek and enjoy being in the water.
So we have two people on, as you can see. They're San Antonio Athenians. They had a pretty busy weekend, but a very successful weekend. Joining us is Ashley Newland. She is a defender and she goes to Louisiana Raging Cajuns, and she is from California. So her expertise of San Antonio Athenians opponent, the Santa Clarita Blue Heat, might be a little bit valuable as far as since she's from California and knows the soccer scene from California. How are you doing this evening, Ash?
Oh, great. Yeah, happy to be here.
Also joining us is Ashley Cathro. She plays for the University of Illinois, but kind of doing the research with her about her. She's played on the Canada's women's U17, also participated on the 2016 World Cup team, and also is a member of the U20 Canadian national team. So welcome, Ashley. How are you this evening?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having us.
So, how is the heat coming down from Canada and Illinois down to San Antonio? I think that has to be kind of the first question tying into Royce's and Rafa's introduction here.
I think for me, honestly, the first practice I got here, it was like the hottest day for me, and it was a bit of a shock. But I think as I've been here longer, I've kind of started to get used to it. So it'll be good for when I go back to Illinois. I feel like I'll be in good shape for preseason.
So for everybody that's not aware, the Athenians finished second in the UWS Southwest. Their only loss was to Lone Star Republic for that early in the year. However, their first match on Saturday, they got a 2-1 win over Side FC, which is from Tulsa.
First match in the playoffs. Yep.
First match in the playoffs for that here. And to me, and then in the second match here, they got redemption against Lone Star Republic, who is a very talented team, and who unfortunately defeated the Athenians 6-0 earlier in the year. But there was a late goal in the 87th minute for the Athenians to get the victory. To me, I think what highlighted it, and I'm kind of excited to have two defenders on here. Lone Star Republic was averaging over four goals a game, and for them to come back with not to be able to score any goals, to me, and just with the defense overall all weekend. So I'm very excited that, to me, the stars of the team, the defense, are on the show tonight for that here. So first week, first question, of course, has to be, how did it feel to beat Lone Star Republic, and what was the difference this time from last time here? We'll start with you, Ash.
You want to go?
Sure.
Both at the same time. There you go.
I don't know. I think for us, it really helped, like playing side FC before in that semifinal match. We had a strong performance, and going into this game against Lone Star, we knew obviously last time it was not very characteristic of us, that match.
Mhm.
So we were really in for redemption this game, and I think it was super important that we played that full 90 minutes, and that really helped us get the win in the end.
What was the difference this time, do you think? Because you're right. The 6-0, when I saw the result on that, I was like, that's...
Oh,
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
okay.
What was the difference on this match?
I think it helped, obviously not traveling the day of the game. I think that really helped us. But I think this time everyone was just really hungry to get that win, and we all believed that we could win this game. And just, I think we collectively worked really well as a unit, and that really helped us.
Rafa, any questions that you have?
Going into the playoffs, so I was going into Friday's game. What do you look forward to as far as momentum? How do you feel like going your matchups going on Friday? How do you feel about that?
I think we're all really excited. I don't think there's a doubt in anyone's mind that we can't win this whole entire thing. I think especially when we first got here, we were kind of just a bunch of strangers playing on a team together, trying to figure it out. And now we're about 3 months in playing for the title, and we're a team. Like, we play for each other. We know each other. We're all friends, and you're fighting for the person who's playing in front of you and next to you. And I think everyone's excited for this game because we feel really strong about it.
Any questions from you, Royce?
Yeah. First of all, for those listening, we have of course, it happens every time we have a nice interview. There's a storm in San Antonio. So if you see some lagging, it's because Mother Nature, I don't know. We'll fight through it. Yeah, obviously, Cathro, you've had some really big tournaments that you've been a part of. How does this compare to those? And just what does this mean for y'all, and how does it compare for the tournaments y'all have had in the past?
I mean, I guess for me, I haven't really played in any big tournaments like this in the past few years because U17s was obviously a few years back now. So to be playing for a championship again is really meaningful and exciting.
Any experience though that you can take from that? Obviously playing for your country on, no matter what country it is a huge accomplishment, and being able to, you've played in some tough matches, no matter the level. I'm thinking that would still play a part on the field, on the pitch there, to be able to kind of bring that leadership, if things get a little bit tight, being able to say, hey, we've been in positions like this before, and being able to draw on that experience from representing your country, or even in college. Obviously, both of you guys have had successful careers. How does that college representing your country translate to the UWS? Does that give you guys a heads up or a level up from having that experience?
I mean, I think amongst the team, a lot of us have a lot of experience, whether that's in college or club or whatever level we played at. But I think going into these super important games, you just have to go in 100% and not be scared, and really just go after it, knowing you have nothing to lose.
And the last game really shows the team's collective mindset, going in super late. Obviously, everybody's probably tired. You just played a game a couple days ago. It's tied. It's a really close game, and the ball, you get, you scramble a goal in super late, and then you make that stick to win. That just shows just kind of how mentally strong the team is, and that's really good to see, especially from San Antonio. We're all watching, and we're all rooting you guys on. So that was really cool to see, and that's the kind of thing that really starts and really kickstarts a really good run. So we're really excited for you guys.
I know, I won't lie. I was thinking it was going to PKs just on how the game or the extra time there. I didn't say it. I was watching it. I was all like, all right. And, both teams had opportunities. I know, it was an awesome game to watch. I would have loved to have been there, but going up to Mansfield, it was a little bit of a drive. Hopefully, we'll get a lot of turnout from the Crocketeers, Two-Din Alliance, fans from San Antonio FC, fans from the Athenians. For that here, we'll be able to kind of make the trek up to Round Rock. Does playing in Round Rock add any extra pressure, you think, for the Athenians, since they're, the semi-home team? Do you think that's an advantage because you're used to the heat compared to you got the Connecticut Fusion, you've got Santa Clarita Blue Heat, and then the other team is the Midwest United FC. So obviously, typically areas that don't have the heat that South Texas, Austin has at this time.
I've been playing in the heat for a long time, so I definitely can tell you that it takes a while to get used to, and I think that might play an advantage. I think also the physical and mental fatigue of traveling plays an advantage on our part, that we luckily have like a 2-hour drive that we only have to worry about. I'm not sure if anyone's really feeling too much pressure that it's at home. I think we're all very excited because, the turnout should be great because, it's not a far drive to see a national, tournament. So
absolutely.
And the prices are pretty reasonable as well. And I know the Crocketeers have tweeted out links for it. I know San Antonio Athenians have tweeted out links. I've tweeted out links for it. And of course, on the SATX Twitter site, we'll tweet out links to it. The action kicks off. You can get a pass for $25 for all 4 games. The first match does kick off at 6 o'clock for it here. Where you get CT Fusion, who won the East by getting by Syracuse 2-0, and then beat a good FC Buffalo women's team 2-0 for their first time going into it. Also a first time, just like the Athenians, is Midwest United, who won in PKs over Corktown AFC. The match was tied 3-3 and went 6-5 in PKs, and then won a 3-1. Match over St. Louis Scott Gallagher to make its first national championship appearance. Those two will face off at the 6 o'clock national semifinal, the first game. And then the Athenians do get it has been confirmed and on the ticket site here that they'll be playing at 8:30 approximately, depending on the depending on the time that the Midwest Connecticut Fusion game ends. But the Athenians will be there at 8:30. Their first time facing against Santa Clarita Blue Heat, who won the UWS in 2016 and was a 2017 runner-up out from the West. They didn't have a playoff; they won their division here. So, 3 first teams, will make this UWS National Championship very entertaining, and one. You could say veteran, the Santa Clarita Blue Hens, stalwart, has the pedigree. Although if you look at it, they've also played the fewest games this year. So I know, Ash, you mentioned, looking at your bio, you mentioned that you're from California. Any thoughts on Santa Clarita Blue Heats? I know you've been in Louisiana, 3-4 years. I think you're a senior this year, if my memory serves me correct. For the Raging Cajuns. Any thoughts on Santa Clarita, who you guys will be facing Friday night?
I actually don't know too much about the team. It's a little bit further south from the area I'm from. The only thing that I know for sure is California teams are very strong. Usually when it comes to, I know in club at least, like Texas and California schools players are usually very, very strong. So we can definitely expect another probably Lone Star game on Friday for sure.
Any final thoughts that either of the Ashleys have? I do want to thank you for your time and coming on. And like I said here, I know you guys got a lot bigger things on your plate this weekend but I do appreciate you taking the 15-20 minutes to kind of talk about the Athenians and the March to Round Rock, or the road to Round Rock, as UWS is labeling it here. Any final thoughts that you have for the fans out there?
I mean, just if you can, come out and support us on Friday's game. And, if we play the way we should be playing, and we know we can, we'll definitely be there on Sunday. And, I mean, the support definitely would make the game even better. Having that energy from the fans and having people cheer you on definitely just adds more fuel to the fire that we play with. So we really appreciate any support we can get online and in person.
Any final thoughts from you, Ashley?
No, I think Ash summed it up well. Come out if you can.
But like I said, I really do thank both of you for coming on and taking the time out of your schedule this evening. I know I'll be making it up. I think Royce has got family duties he's mentioned, and Rafa is on vacation, so he mentioned that he's out of town. Rafa, you need to schedule your vacation better. Come on.
I'm still gonna try to go. My kid is a little under the weather, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll definitely be watching from home
yes.
if we can't go up there.
Yeah.
So,
and
sure.
I believe that'll be on formerly Mike Kuju, now 11 Sports, which you can get if you have what is it, Roku, along those lines, and obviously online here. But definitely a pleasure, ladies. Thank you for stepping up here, and like I said, hope to see you guys on Sunday at 11.
Sweet. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Good luck. Thank y'all.
Good luck.
So, do want to thank you, the San Antonio Athenians, for allowing Ashley and Ash to appear on the show here. It's very much appreciated, and I know I tweet a lot about the Athenians, about how they're doing here, and very, very excited for that here. Do also want to thank UWS Weekly for a little bit of help with some of the research on the team success here, and they put out a lot of information that I was able to kind of gather for the show here. So Jonathan, nice job as always for it here. But to me, like I said here, CT Fusion Midwest, our two quality teams for it here. I think the Athenians, I think they get a team with a rich history. I don't know, with only playing 6 games, I don't know if if they've seen the same conditions as the Athenians has for that here. But let's be honest, California women's soccer is one of the best in the United States. So
it's up there with Texas for sure.
Yeah. So I definitely would not worry about that. But if you can, please make the trek. It is at 8:30. UWS has done a great job on putting it at a reasonable price. You can get all 4 games for $25. In the non-shaded area. If you wanted the shaded area, it's $50. So pretty respectable to be able to get all 4 games. With that, you'd get the 2 semifinal games that we've kind of talked about. On Saturday night, Austin Elite, which is the host of it, will face a team of the UWS All-Stars on Saturday, and then on Sunday at 11, you get the national title game, and I would, I'm hoping to see the Athenians in there, and hopefully, I'd love to see San Antonio up there, because I think that would make a huge statement. We always say San Antonio is a soccer city. We support our team here. And if you do want aspirations of, San Antonio to host, to have an NWSL team, to me, this is a prime opportunity to be able to do that, to show, hey, San Antonio soccer fans are willing to go the 2.5 hours, depending on traffic, to go support the Athenians up in Round Rock.
I was going to say 4.5 hours, depending on traffic. But yeah,
you can
take the toll road.
Yeah, do the toll road, buddy. That's how I'm going to do it.
That's probably that's the best answer.
Probably
Just
the best one.
avoid I-35 at all costs.
Hey, Robert, I'll take you, but I can't, dude. I'm not going to ruin this jersey. I got another one here. I got another small Athenian shirt that if they do win, I'll wear it. But
inappropriate.
This one's going in a frame here, especially if they win the title. Yeah, so for that here. But if you want to ride up, I'd would have no issues taking you up here, because I think it's just going to be me going up here. So, any final thoughts on the Athenians? I know they've pulled off a great weekend, which going in, we figured they'd get by Side FC, but Lone Star Republic up in Dallas area. They've been pretty dominating all year for that here. So to see them be able to hold the shutout is very impressive. Any final thoughts that either one of you have?
Yeah, I mean, that first Lone Star match that they played when they lost 6-0, that was their first road game of the season.
Correct.
And like Ashley said, they traveled their day of game, so they obviously weren't rested. They drove up there 4 or 5 hours to be up there. That's just rough conditions to try to play a match. This time they're going to be rested. Whenever they'll be ready. They'll be prepared. And at the same rate, it's nothing but exciting. You can't be nothing but exciting for the team. You can't be anything but excited for the city. It's great. Definitely going to cheer them on, and they're in a really good position to take this home. And you just got to support your heart out, cheer your heart out for them, and hopefully that pushes them over the edge to win.
Rafa, any final thoughts from you?
Hopefully, like I said, they can really wear out the Blue Heat in their semifinal round, match. I'm sure that they've never been to a situation like here in Texas with the Heat and also with the turf.
They have grass fields up there, though. Or do you think they're playing on turf, or you think they're playing on grass?
I think if they're playing on the main field, it's going to be turf.
Oh, is it? So
that could come in as a factor since the Athenians are used to this heat already. We don't know what kind of condition Blue Heat's going to be in. Being in Southern California, it's not as hot as over here. That could come into play, and like I say, if the Athenians can really play some possession ball, really work them, kind of wear them out. That could be the key to winning and getting into the final on Sunday. So that's something maybe to look for, see how if conditioning is going to come into a factor, in this coming game, especially for the other teams too, because like I said, I don't think they're up used to 90-degree humid weather down here. So we'll see. I know they're saying that California heat. There is no match to the Texas Heat.
I think he makes it a point. It is an 8:30 kickoff, so it's not the 6 o'clock game, so it is later. The humidity will be interesting to see here. It is a different environment. To me, I think this comes down to, from my understanding, California plays a little bit faster. Along those, and the Athenians obviously play a little bit more physical. So, as always with anything, number one, how the ref calls the game, I think will play a part in it. What he allows, what he doesn't allow, and then number two, which style wins out, which tactics wins out. Is it ones that is it going to be a faster paced game than possibly the Athenians would like? Although I do think that they've got speed. Especially up top, or is the physicality, of the UWS Southwest, is that the one that's gonna be more dominant?
Yeah, they're gonna have to dictate the game. I think their style. They're gonna have to make Blue Heat play their style of play, and I think if they can do that, I think they can pull off. It's gonna be close. I think I can obviously see a 1-0 game going into the getting you into the final. So I don't think there'll be some high scoring games unless you make mistakes, but this is going to be a tight game. And I do see maybe like a 1-0 game getting into the final.
Yeah. And the games going to be late. It's going to be 8:30. So, I mean, heat may be kind of a minimal factor. And also field 1 at the Round Rock multipurpose complex, it is a turf field. So if they play there, and that's the one with most of the infrastructure. Mm-hmm. Right behind it is field 2, which is grass, so they have their option. But I would say most likely it is going to be on the turf field. In
talking with Danny, I guess, and like I said, I've never been there, but I guess it's going to be the one that has the grandstand. Yeah. The grandstand has the seated area, has the shade, and then on the other side is going to be. Yeah, and then on the other side is going to be the one that's going to be out in the open along those lines there. So looks like it'll be field 1 for that here. So. Moving on to another successful team from San Antonio this week, and it's been a while since we've been able to say that. San Antonio FC. They got their first victory in Colorado Springs, winning 3-2.
That was such an unfortunate sideswipe. That was not necessary. Good Lord.
Was it not factual?
Not saying that, but you didn't have to say that. But they got a big 3 points on Saturday. That's what matters.
Exactly. And their first win in Colorado Springs.
First win ever in Colorado Springs. And my guy PC's back. And
Kamari's back.
What I was saying, the missing piece. I was saying the missing piece from injury is Maloney and PC, mainly PC, because he is the engine that drives that midfield. And where did we win this match? In the damn midfield. So PC, man.
I think we also won by pressuring their defense.
For sure.
They made a lot of mistakes, passing the ball.
Well, hold on before we get into that.
Okay.
So the injury list came out. PC was back. Kamari was back, and we kind of knew he was there, but he was back in the starting lineup.
Mm-hmm.
However, earlier, Peruzza was called back to Toronto FC, and I know Royce had kind of touched on that previously.
Yeah.
I don't think it was on the. Did we talk about it on the last show?
I don't think so, because
that happened at the end of the week.
Yeah,
that was a rumor.
It was my social media reporting that I figured out that he was in Ontario. But I also said that not on the show, but also said that was probably going to happen because SAFC needed to open up an international slot. We'll get to that later as well.
But Peruzza being called out, and then when SAFC released their injury report and actually went into details, so this tells you it's a little bit more serious. Patino is out with I think they labeled it as a possible stress
fracture.
Stress factor.
Fracture.
Yeah. So we get defense healthy, and then the offense is back down 2 strikers now. So
it's 2021, man.
The injuries continue here for that here. So looking at the lineup here.
Well, hold on. You might as well finish it. The injury list was Patino with a possible stress fracture. Hopefully he's all right. Like I've said in the past, broken bones are a lot better than torn muscles or torn ligaments, but that's a rough one. A stress fracture can take a little while, and it could be up to 2 months. Hopefully it's not anywhere that long. Hopefully he can come back in a month. It's normally 4 to 6 weeks. Sometimes it's 6 to 8 weeks. So,
but hopefully he's already got 2 weeks with the
correct with the break and not playing. That is correct. Also, Maloney is still on the IL, oh man, who was the last person that's was on the IL? That there were, was it 3 guys that were on the? Give me a second. Keep going. I'll finish it up. Keep going.
Well, the other thing, DePlane was scheduled to start and was a late scratch, so he went out, and then in his place stepped in Lima.
There you go. It was Ollie Wright. Ollie Wright had a lower body injury. He was out. That was the third. And then DePlane apparently is on the IL. Can we just get healthy, man? What is going on? Did everybody light their candles? Did everybody?
That's what I'm saying. Take him to the curandero.
Robert must not have done it. I'm blaming Robert here. And then Big Poppy underscore Thomas, PC being back changed the game, and that's what Royce has said all
100%. No, Robert also trying to get you to put that shirt on is not helping anything with this whole injury bug. Come on, man. Killing me.
So the lineup, we're going to get your thoughts. Nathan up top, the 3, Gallegos, Cuello, Epps, PC Lindley, Gleadle, Kamari, Axel Schulberg, and what was supposed to be DePlane. I think they were supposed to be reversed. But with DePlane going out, Gleadle flipped sides, and Lima came in. Thoughts on the lineup, and of course, Cardoni, in the between the pipes.
No, I think Gleadle was supposed to start on the left, and then DePlane was going to be on the right. But Lima, who's has filled in as a left back, oddly goes to the right back. But I think that's because with the plane being there, I don't think Marcino wanted to change his defensive setup, so he just put a dude that is not going to go forward that much and he's going to stay back, which really allows Epps to get forward. And also what that's going to allow. So, well, I mean, you're not going to see the cursor, but Lima's going to stay back kind of as a back three. When Glito goes up, PC can come over and kind of fill as that left back, and then Lindley kind of comes in the midfield to try to help out. But also what's going to help out with that is the press, and the press was a big player in this game against Colorado, which are very susceptible to it. That is why we won the first game at home against Colorado, is we pressed them to death, and we left a Haji Berry on an island, and he didn't do too well on that island in that match. And then this match was pretty similar, except we arguably scored too early, and also we had 2 clear-cut chances late that really could have sealed it, and we really didn't do that. But anyway, let's continue on. Go ahead, Harry.
Your thoughts on the lineup there, Rafa?
I thought we talked about this. I thought we were gonna go maybe to like a 4-1-4-1, like we did on the friendlies. But I guess with PC, coming back in, that changed the plans. But we still saw what they did as far as the pressing from the 2 friendlies. The touching the ball was a lot better. The attack was a lot better. Especially we did play the ball more on the outside too, which really stretched Colorado out and gave them a lot of problems. So that was good to see. But the finishing, that I guess we'll discuss that in a bit. Does need to be fixed.
Once again, Marcinus formation puts us in and game plan puts us in a wonderful position to finish a lot of goals. Like, we finished enough of them this time. That's a big difference, but we still didn't finish some really easy ones. Real quick, what I will say. Go ahead.
To be fair, Colorado Springs missed an open net, so we didn't have anything that blatant. But they missed a clear shot. I think it would have tied the game, and just
And also, Matt Cardoni's an absolute beast, and he made some ridiculous saves. But just real quick, what I wanted to get at, and a big difference between this match, something to look for if you want to rewatch this match or maybe look at the next one. One of the big things that happened was Emil Cuello did not have to provide any defensive midfield duties. If you remember in the Real Monarchs game, Marcina was yelling at Cuello a lot. That was too easy, Emil. That was too easy. Put pressure, pace, He kept saying those things, and Emil was trying to play his game where he knew. So when you are like an attacking midfielder, you're looking in front of you, and you're looking at where to go. As a defensive midfielder, you're still and you're looking at the game in front, and you're trying to stop the game. It's a different mentality, and Emil just he's a great player. He just didn't succeed, and he needs some more playing time if he's going to succeed in there. In this match, he's the number 10. He's the attacking midfielder, and you had PC and Lindley back. That allows him to do what he wants to do, and that is put pressure on their number 6, and that's exactly what he did for that first goal. Their 6 got it, took too much time. Quayle put pressure on him, fed it to Nathan, and 1-0. We're off and running.
Then in the 14th minute, Haji Berry equalized in what was a scrum in front of the net.
That was very reminiscent of the Athenians goal against Lone Star for sure.
Yeah,
just a scramble in front. Probably should have gotten cleared. Cardoni could have cleared it.
That started from a bad play. That started from a bad play from our defense, a bad pass.
Yeah. And then it was exacerbated by Kamiri taking himself out of the play by sliding and getting.
Well, Axel got beat initially.
And So that exact same thing happened for another goal. I'm not going to think of where Axel kind of goes up in the midfield and tries to help the 6, and he gets burnt, and then I think it was Kamiri at the same time, or it may have been Doyle, tries to come over, can't get over in time, and then Gleedle tries to come, and Gleedle's the last man with the attacker right when he shoots the goal. So it looks like Gleedle's at fault, but actually Gleedle was not even supposed to be the last man. Right. He came back because he's the new Greg Cochran. He just
Gleedle's the man.
He just runs.
He's still my MVP of the season so far.
I would have to agree with that. Yeah, There's very little doubt. Without Gleedle, we'd be pretty dang lost. But that's just one of those things. We got beat. We had plenty of chances to kill off that chance for Colorado, and we just didn't do it, and they ended up putting it back in that 1-1.
And then in the 24th minute, San Antonio got a PK, Michael Edwards, for a handball.
Yeah, Gallegos with a howitzer from outside the box, which is something that Rafa preaches. Shoot more from outside
Daily.
Jose
I was
did
like,
right at Edwards' arm, and he got a yellow, and that was a handball in the box. And
hey, finally he shot a shot from the outside the 18.
And if PC would have been English and had his PK at the end of the Euros, the English may have actually won the Euros, because that was put where Christian Pulisic likes to put him, right in the top corner. It's a great PK.
Then we have to kind
welcome
of
back PC, by the way. Welcome back PC.
Welcome back,
I don't know if I
PC.
mentioned that or not. Welcome back PC.
So then in the 43rd, San Antonio FC got a PK. Now this one's contested. I know Royce's thoughts. I already know Rafa's thoughts here, but I know average social media person that follows the league. The announcers, Devin Kerr, who called the game, thought it probably wasn't a PK upon further review. When it first happened, it was kind of bang bang. Where the ref was, it probably looked like a penalty, and I think it's probably one of the first calls I think San Antonio's benefited, where it's one of those 50-50 calls.
We real quick, we totally skipped it. That PK for that handball in the box, that PK that PC scored, first penalty called for San Antonio FC in this season. Halfway
Correct.
through the season, first one.
Well, we're
Ridiculous.
not halfway. We're just
Continue.
over a third, but yeah, point taken. 12 games in.
Yeah.
So, thoughts on, was that a PK or was that not a PK?
Yes.
Rafa's yes as well.
It was, because if you look at the replay, yes, he did touch, the goalkeeper did touch the ball, but the follow-up of the play
Correct.
is he lifted his arm up and caught Gleedle's foot.
That's correct.
And that caused the foul. Had he not do that, then that's not a PK, because you're giving the goalie the opportunity to challenge the ball. But it was a similar situation, like from a game last night that I saw. The goalkeeper, he got beat, even though he touched the ball. But once you kind of commit to try to keep him from getting the ball back,
Correct.
that was like a no-brainer to call that a PK. They can complain all they want. VAR would, if we had VAR, they would have confirmed that as a PK for us.
I think VAR would have kept it no matter how it was called on the field, though.
Yeah, what VAR would have done was they would have passed the buck and said there's not enough evidence to
Because
overturn.
I do think it's one of those 50-50 calls. If it gets called, you're going to stick with it. But if it doesn't get called, I don't think it's that clear and obvious where you're gonna override the ref on the pitch here. I just think
the mistake was the goalkeeper. Even he got beat. Even though he played the ball, he got beat. So he actually took him out. Even had they maybe gone 50-50 ball, okay, that's not a PK. They're both going for the ball, but since the ball passed by, Gleedle still had an opportunity to score and to reach that ball. He said he took that arm up to prevent him from getting that, and that's going. The referees, anyone's going to call that as a PK. Even VAR's going to confirm that. So
correct. You can win the ball all you want, but if you go through a player before or after you win the ball, it's a foul. It's not a yellow card. It's definitely not a yellow, and the goalkeeper did not get a yellow, but it's a foul because his arm was up, and because the goalkeeper's arm is up when he makes contact with Gleedle's foot, that is a goalie initiating contact, and that is a foul.
And I will say the goalie for the Switchbacks, Melvin, had a very interesting game where he was all over the pitch for it here. So through it here. Colorado Springs closed out the scoring.
So anyway, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
We didn't get to the penalty. So Nathan steps up because
Oh, yeah,
PC had that
fantastic.
penalty. Nathan steps up, takes his penalty, and puts it right in the exact same spot that PC had his, which is fantastic.
What's your thoughts
They
on
learned from the
having?
Italians.
What's your
Wow.
thoughts on having Nathan and PC taking it instead of having PC taking both? Especially
Whenever
after
you-
he
whenever-
converted it.
Whenever you have Brazilians on your roster, you let them take penalties. I mean,
Well, that was the correct move because you don't want the same person taking the PK because now now the goalie has a better shot of stopping that second kick. So
correct.
you have two different different players. You don't know who's gonna go where. So that was the correct decision.
And to be fair, both of those were unsavable. So
Yeah, no, I'm not blaming anything on Melvin for it here. But any fun? And so at the half, it was 3-1, and I think everybody was feeling pretty comfortable for the rest of the match. For that here, the Switchbacks did get a goal from outside the box, and Zombie.
Right after halftime, Epps gets a clear-cut chance and doesn't put it away. And that would have just sealed it. That would have killed it dead. No coming back from that.
And if you look at the replay, he had time to actually dribble around him. The goalie had already committed, already on the ground. There was really no way he could reach out and grab the ball or even challenge it. Had he just dribbled a little touch to the left, and it would have been a nice shot into the net. And that's something that.
Well, I think. To me, if he would have passed, I think Jose was there was a forward. I think it was Jose that was over to the left. If you would have passed it to him, he had an open net.
Yeah.
And I think there was two of those where, yes, I want my players to be selfish, but sometimes it's better to pass it up to the open player, for them to be able to get the easier shot.
He committed.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say he committed already to that play, so he needed to finish that play correctly, which he didn't. And that's why he should have taken that dribble around the goalkeeper, and that would have been the goal. Because I think even looking at the replay, I think Jose did have some pressure behind, and that could have been a factor. Maybe he would have gone tackled in the back and PK, and then or something. But I think Epps has to finish those. He's got the speed, he's got the dribble work. Just you got the goalkeeper beat, shoot it in.
Royce, your thoughts?
I mean, just get your head up. I mean, we get a couple of those chances, and it's tough in the moment. I mean, we're not professional soccer players, but I mean, we countered really well. We just didn't finish on some of those counters. Just kind of the close, like you said, Colorado closed it out toward the end to score a goal and just couldn't score that third one. But one thing I will say on the stats part, San Antonio FC ended up with 6 yellow cards in this match. So
4 of them were late. You had Hapano time wasting in the 88th, Cardoni time wasting in the 91st, Gladel time wasting in 90+4. And then there was a foul by
Cuello
was
foul at the very end of the game. Yeah.
So PC also, since we're talking yellow cards, PC did pick up one in the 36th minute, which he was subbed out. What do you guys think of the substitutions? Doyle, Doyle and Kamiri like for like, and then your PC for Dylan here in the 54th minute. I understand why you subbed out, PC at that time, probably because he was on a minutes calculation, but moving Dylan in for him. To me, to be honest with you, I would have liked to have seen Doyle come in for Axel, because I think Axel was getting burned because they were going over the top of the speed with Beckford and Haji Berry, and I don't think he played poor, but when they had their opportunities, you could tell he got beat. In regards to that. So I was kind of surprised Axel was left in there and not Kamiri, because I thought Kamiri looked a little bit better.
Well, I mean, just real quick, the reason that obviously PC was subbed was he's obviously on a minutes. threshold. The reason that Dylan came in is to be to hold up play, which is what he's really good at.
Right.
So then you basically go into a 4-5-1, a lot more defensive and a lot more you're sitting back. You're letting them come so you can
He had
counter,
a couple good
and
shots.
they did really well. He had a couple good shots, and he had some really good hold up play where he distributed. I mean, which really helped facilitate a lot of those counters. And yeah, he had some good shots too, some pretty decent chances that he just couldn't quite finish. Those weren't the best chances by far, but I think Dylan played really well when he came in, and he really did a good job, and his performance really went a long way to sealing the 3 points. As far as Doyle coming in, the reason that he came in is he's more of a distributor. Axel is a height guy. He's going to be a clearance guy. He's going to win the ball and then give it to Doyle, and Doyle's going to distribute.
But
So
Axel was more to me. Axel was more forward this game because, as we mentioned on their first goal,
right.
I would prefer Axel more in the back.
Okay.
And leave him back there because of the height and what you're talking about. And I think he's got just the amount of distance he can cover in that short period, inside the box. I think it's a huge difference. Where I think if you're going to be up forward, I think Kamiri is the better option because I do think he's got a little bit better acceleration. Maybe not faster, but a little bit quicker acceleration to be able to either slow down the attack or along those lines here. There is one thing that we do have to call out for, and that was I want to say it was Chris Lima's clean tackle early in the match here on a clear goal scoring opportunity for Colorado Springs. He came back and it was clean as day, a nice little slide and along those lines, and like I said here. So I do want to give Lima a lot of credit because
and he was hurt for the 4th of July game and 3rd of July. But yeah, I thought that was going to be I think him being hurt and not available kind of contributed to how that match went. But for sure, it's good to have him back. And I mean, he put in a hell of a shift too. So it was kind of a total team shift. Yes, we're kind of, nagging on Epps a little bit, but I mean, without him and his play and his countering, we don't bring those 3 points in. And I thought the whole team looked really, really good. I hope DePlane's okay. I hope it was just a little tightness. Just a little thing. Yeah, a little tightness that he can work out during this week. Definitely going to need him. So we'll see. How he feels, and hopefully PC recovered well, and he'll be ready for Wednesday.
Any final thoughts on Colorado that you have before we transition to some transactional news for SAFC, and then taking a look towards?
Yeah, everybody that's originally from Colorado is weird. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, continue.
Just like Gallegos, he had a good game. Gallegos, like I said, he had a good game, but except for that one missed opportunity that I think he should have give up the pass. I think that would have been a big difference. And then you mentioned Harry about Axel being back there. I think I would have gone maybe also with Varela instead, because Varela's been shut down, especially that game against Pumas. He really did a great job there, kind of anchoring that defense. So I think he would have been a great choice to also be out there. Hopefully, maybe that could have weathered better the storm, or maybe prevented that second goal. But great win. We needed these 3 points because we're coming into the hellfire of a schedule. Come with these 2 home games coming up, and then the big road trip. So if we're gonna make up some ground and get back in the top 4, that's a great start. Going into this game on Wednesday.
Well, it's something that we needed. Now, before we get to Wednesday's game, I think it was end of last week, before the Colorado Springs match, but San Antonio added defender Bradley Diddley.
Dildy. It's
so it is. To a USL Academy contract, which means that SAFC has now had 15 Academy players throughout the time frame
of the club
of SAFC. Rafa, you got to see him in the friendlies against Liga MX. So I know we kind of briefly talked about it, but if you wanted to highlight what you liked about him.
Just a great defender, great passer, very few mistakes, especially for a young guy. Very carried himself going against first division players, one of the top leagues, like I said, in the world. Especially, I think he really shined in that Pumas game too.
Oh, yeah.
Given that assist he gave to Nathan, so that's a big pickup. And hopefully, like I said, they give him. I like to see him give him the opportunity. Maybe he'll be that missing piece. That I know Maloney's out. Hey, give him an opportunity because he has proven himself.
Yeah.
To be able to get up in the attack and defend there out in the wing. And who's to say don't find like I said, he's that diamond in the rough that we can build upon, especially with that back four that we have. So I'm glad we have him, and look forward to seeing him on the pitch pretty soon.
So in today's signing here, Mohamed Abu, who was the trialist during the Liga MX, who's had more than 200 appearances and 16,000 professional minutes since 2010 with MLS, La Liga, and the Norwegian First Division here. So he didn't get signed last week when we thought he did, but he got signed this week here. Do you think that the injuries to either Maloney or DePlane's a little bit more serious, or you think this is more midfield depth that they needed to have to kind of cover that that defensive mid?
I don't think the signing correlates with injury. Well, I mean, obviously it does but it's not a recent injury thing. It's not a recent injury thing is why he's getting signed. The reason he's getting signed now is because, like I said earlier, Perusa's loan deal was canceled, so it opens up an international spot. And also, I'm sure there were some visa issues, and I'm sure that, some work permits and just kind of the paperwork stuff behind the scenes needed to get done, and just couldn't get done in time for Saturday, and that's why they announced it today. And it sounds like he'll be good to go for Wednesday, which is direly needed.
Do you anticipate him to start?
I see him going in for PC as a sub.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. I say late sub he comes in, and probably subbing for PC as a 6.
He's a good insurance policy for that defensive mid, and then also, like I said, with cards building up, how PC.
yeah.
With cards, fair. Especially with PC, with welcome back getting a yellow card. He's a good insurance policy. Like I said, plus he's a switchblade knife. He can also play the outside back too. So it's a great
that's the reason why I was asking is, because DePlane's an older player. Along those lines. I think both of you have stated that he can play both the defensive middle, but also on the outside. He's got the speed, and obviously he's got the experience, and to be able to do that here. So to me, like I said here, that's why I kind of correlated, with possibly Maloney still not coming back, for that here. And let's be honest, if he's been out this long, it's probably going to take him a couple of weeks, even once he's healthy, to be able to get into
he may be
playing
trying to get
shape.
Yep.
So up next, New Mexico United, who beat SAFC 2-0 earlier in the season in New Mexico at the Lab. And also the last time they were here in San Antonio in the playoffs, they got a shoulder ball or handball to be able to.
It was a handball, not shoulder.
And then Doyle goal
with
that
the
was
mystery
wiped away
disallowed goal.
For who knows what.
For being bald, who knows?
So they make the return back to San Antonio. New Mexico has won their last two. They beat Colorado Springs 3-1 on July 9th. And then last Monday they beat Charleston, so they've been off since the 12th here. For that here they beat Charleston 2-1. For that here they currently set third in the Mountain with 6 wins, 5 losses, 2 ties, and a +4 goal difference. San Antonio FC still in fifth at 3 wins, 3 losses, 6 ties, +1 goal differential, and have finally broken the losing streak here. It is an ESPN
winless
stream. It is an ESPN2 game. I would expect a packed house. I think this is going to be one of the highest attended matches. It is also USL HQ in town. So, San Antonio FC is going to want to put on a quality match and to be able to close the gap against New Mexico, which is 5 points right now. If you can get this win, that closes that gap to 2, and we have a game in hand on New Mexico United. One thing to also learn, because before we were kind of hyping on wins, USL has actually changed the rules this year. It's no longer based on wins. So first tiebreaker is head-to-head points earned in regular season. Goal differential is the second tiebreak into head matches, and then third is total points earned against in division opponents. So it's for these mountain games, division games here, the weight of winning those carries a whole lot more importance on it than just total total wins, even more than through here. So and actually this change actually helps San Antonio to where if you are equal on points, even though you got more ties than losses, it doesn't matter that they won more games. It depends on how you do head to head, which is how it should be, and then how you did in the group overall. So, thoughts on New Mexico?
It stinks. Just kidding. No, they've put together some really good results. They like to frustrate. They really like to plug up the middle. They give away the wings a lot, so that'll be interesting to see if Glito can get up on the wings and really kind of take over the match with some crosses. I mean, considering that the last match that we played against them in New Mexico, kind of where we failed in that match is that our midfield kind of our midfield kind of fell apart. We let them come through, and it was one of the matches in a row that we were on the winless streak where we gave up a goal that mattered in zone 14, which zone 14 is right in front of the box. And that's basically where that goal was created. A guy blew by Lindley because Lindley was focused on the offense, and he was pretty much the only midfielder back, and it was up to the center backs, and guy got a goal from there, and that was pretty much the game. New Mexico sat back real successfully. We did not take advantage of a lot of chances we created. We created a lot of chances. We definitely led them in XG, but they scored a second goal on a counterattack that came down our right side or our left side because we were trying to score a goal to tie it up, and we gave up that goal on the counter. They finished their chance as well. So if we can just avoid that first goal, frustrate them for a change, which I think we definitely have a really good chance of doing with PC being back, and maybe Mo, the new signing, will get some time as well. Hopefully we can turn the tables. And kind of the last time we lost in New Mexico, we kind of embarrassed them here at home during the regular season. That was our biggest win ever, 5-0. And looking forward to that same thing happening again with the Jose Gallegos hat trick. You heard it here first.
That's a bold prediction.
Gallegos had a really good game at New Mexico. He really gave him. Yes, he gave him really a lot. Yeah, gave him a lot of problems, especially on the wing, and hopefully, being with a home environment, and then now that our midfield is kind of back a little bit more healthier.
I didn't just pull that out of nowhere. This is all evidence based. Yeah.
It's gonna be.
He also had a really good match against Colorado on Saturday.
So I think that's gonna help, and I think Nathan's gonna be a big difference in this game. He's really, if you notice the last few games, he's really turned it up a notch, and
he's got some confidence now.
Oh yeah,
and I think those two friendlies really help him shine. And I think the coach is starting to see that, even though we're out with Patino, but Nathan really creates a lot of problems, and he does create a lot of chances for us. And I think that, like I said, I'm probably more likely we're going to see the same lineup we saw against Colorado on Wednesday, and I think this is going to be a difference maker. And hopefully, like I said, we need to get the lead first. I think we play better with the lead than when we're behind. And I think if we can get up top, get up a couple goals, we'll pull this through and we'll get the 3 points against New Mexico.
Yep.
Any concerns about San Antonio in the leaking of goals? And like I said, it only gets on anybody per se, but just San Antonio gives up a goal. It just it's just through here. You look at Austin Bold. They win 1-0 and they shut things down. And we play different styles, but any concerns of San Antonio getting that goal and then the feeling is it seems like they turn around and cough one right back up.
Well, these are the things you want to happen in the regular season, especially in the first half of the regular season.
Right.
Is figure this out, that you have to come out strong in the first 5 to 10 minutes. You can't win the game in the first 5 to 10 minutes. You could definitely lose it, so don't lose it.
Well, United States won the game last night in the first 20
seconds. That is correct.
I got lucky there.
Yeah, and to be fair, Canada was definitely the stronger team. Let's not break that down. Let's talk about SAFC, but
this isn't the Scruff podcast.
It's not Scruff. It's not Total Soccer Show. Correct. Although we wish we were. But no, I mean, you're right. Definitely got to stay focused in the beginning of the game at the same rate. If we continue to if we're continuing down the path that we've been on pretty much this whole season, create more chances in the other team. That seems to be Marcina's motto, his game plan, or whatever he says. That typically 9 times out of 10, the law of averages, you should win. If you create more chances, you should win the game, and that's what they've been doing. And it's about damn time this turns around, starting with that Colorado match, and let's turn this season around. Let's get 3-4 wins in a row where we put away our chances and we defend well, especially now that we have a midfield with a super solid spine with the combination of Mo and PC. Let's do it. Let's go.
I'm ready for it. Rafa, your final thoughts?
Well, here's a little comment from Edward on Wednesday's game. The weather could be a factor on Wednesday's game, so I think we're expecting rain. So we'll see how that comes into play, especially with our style of play. How does that affect New Mexico? How boxes get slippery, especially with the goalkeepers. So we'll find out how that goes on Wednesday. But
it's going to be tough for New Mexico because we're playing on an actual soccer field, not a baseball field. So it's going to be tough to begin with.
Dude, and that field was trash when we played them as well on the infield side.
That's why they're always in the middle, is because they know if you try to go on the inlines, you try to utilize the sides, there's no grass out there, and it's just going to break. Like that's why they play that way.
Well, plus baseball fields are narrower to begin with. So
tomorrow there's a 22% chance of rain, or not tomorrow. Wednesday is a 22% chance of rain.
Yeah, I haven't heard weather. I know it's going to be a little bit
thunderstorms
cooler,
possible.
Yeah.
Just 22% chance of rain as of right now.
But the way SAFC game days have been, expect the moisture.
Oh, it's going to pour. Yeah, no, for sure. It's just kind of how the season's gone, right? But at the same rate, I'm still predicting Jose Gallegos either a hat trick or 3 assists or a combination. 3 points for the team, 3 points for Jose Gallegos. There you go.
I think Nathan gets the brace.
Another brace, back-to-back braces.
Yeah, I think so.
2 assists by Jose Gallegos. Yep. Okay.
Maybe a PK.
Put a more mama puts the cookies.
I'll never forget the last match, and always in who's the defender in Sacramento?
Taintor.
Mitchell sending over Sandoval and saying beeping hair, and we'll just leave it at that. So,
Yep.
I will love Mitchell
I had
Tainter forever for that.
Preseason I had a little back and forth with Sandoval, so we'll see when they come to San Antonio what happens. So it's all in fun and games, but when you're on the field between those lines during those 90 minutes, I don't like you, Devin Sandoval. I don't like you at all, man. All right.
He's a cool dude off.
He's awesome off the field. Great guy.
And if he's on your team,
I'd get a beer with him. I'd get a beer with him any day. And if he's on your team, I would too.
You
but
love him
he's
to
not,
death.
And no, not at all.
But
go away.
He's one of those. He's one of those players that it's a love-hate relationship for that here.
Give him a beer before the game.
No, that might make him perform better.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
Rafa, your final thoughts so we can get out of here at a respectable hour after last week's marathon.
No kidding.
Just like I said, my final thoughts. Like I said, I'm looking forward for the Chili Derby on Wednesday. So come out. You know, this is a real important game, so we need some fan support. Especially ESPN. ESPN2 is going to be there. So if you're a real fan of SAFC, you better show up because
even a fake fan.
Everybody needs to show up for this.
We need to bring it. Yeah, you need to bring it because
it's on ESPN2, national audience. Let's go. Let's go, San Antonio. Put up or shut up. Let's go.
And our boys need the help. Yeah, our boys need it, and they say they got a big win for us this weekend. Let's show them some appreciation. So I look forward to that, and then still enjoying my vacation. I'll be back at work on the 27th, and hopefully I get to go to the semifinal of the Gold Cup. You know, even though Harry doesn't want me to go to I don't know if the game's in Austin or not, so we'll find out. But hopefully Mexico gets a ticket to the semifinal on the 29th.
Who would have thought that Rafa would have been the first one of us to go to Q2 Stadium?
I'm not buying anything from this. So that hey, I'm not buying their support their $10 Cokes or whatever.
Sit there in your nervousness and think about what you've done.
Yeah, they could have played at the Alamo Dome, but they just decided not to.
Royce, your final thoughts?
We're off as a traitor. No. Everybody from
Colorado. He's going to support there, right? He's going to support Mexico, so let's not leave that out as well.
It just feels cheap. It feels.
Pachavia Army.
Pick your battles, man. I kid. I love everybody from most people from Colorado. I love most people from New Mexico. New Mexico is a gorgeous state. I
wouldn't go that far, but okay.
I've flown over it a couple times. It looks nice from the air. No, but my final thought, it's until I'm blue in the face, man, get vaccinated, please. Numbers are still going up. Without Delta variants, even if you're vaccinated, the amount of virus that comes off of people that even are vaccinated is pretty astounding. And I know all the cases in Los Angeles County at some point, most of the cases in Florida, we're all people unvaccinated. Just protect yourselves, protect each other. That's all we're trying to do. Yes, I know people are saying, it's not completely endorsed by the CDC and all this stuff, and it's still under the emergency. Yeah, the reason is because of long-term disease. So they need about 5 years of testing to see whether if there's going to be any effects. But this is a totally different. There's a totally different vaccine that has been researched for 20 plus years because it's an mRNA, and basically it is just they create a fake virus and they create the fake genetic code and they put it in your body. That's all it is. There's no computer chips. There's no crazy stuff about it. They've been researching this for decades, and all they're doing is they're putting this little, hey, this is what the virus looks like. It's like going to a museum, and instead of having a real dinosaur bone fossil there, they put it together out of paper mache to make it look like the real thing. Like it's the same. It's the same thing. They're just please get vaccinated. just protect yourselves and your families. We worry about you and we worry about our families and our friends. And yeah, absolutely. Vamos los gatos blancos. Let's go.
So I got a couple of final thoughts. Number one, I want to give a shout out to Max. All year long, my big thing is being there for somebody if they need to talk, so that way they don't, do something that they shouldn't be doing. And he was definitely there for one of his buddies, the other evening, morning, whenever it was. So shout out to Max for stepping up to the plate and helping somebody and talking through a tough time. The other final thought here, I want to say thank you to the Crocketeers for the watch party at Amo Beer Company. I may or may not have stuffed the ballot to win the
You're not supposed to admit when you cheat, Harry. Come on, man.
I may or may not have. And I do want to thank the Athenians, for the kit. It's awesome. And looking forward to get it framed here. No, Robert, I will not be wearing this for it here because I don't want to ruin it. Number two, and then my final thought here is want to give thank you to everybody that listened to, gave feedback on last week's episode. It was not the easiest one that we did, and I'm sure it stepped on a few toes along those lines here, but I think the feedback that I've got was mostly positive on it for it here. There's some things that they said we could have changed, answered a little bit different, but you had to be inside the supporters groups to be able to know that much detail. So I do want to appreciate everybody that's listening and that everybody that participated in it with all the feedback and listened on it. It's much appreciated here, but we're going to get out at a respectable time tonight here, with Rex not feeling the best here, and hopefully he feels much better, so that way Royce is able to have a fun weekend here. Rafa, enjoy your next rest of the month off for that here, and peace, guys. What's life without goals?
See y'all.